Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight. When a man truly misses you, he's going to slip up. I don't care how strong he thinks his game is. I don't care how much pride he carries on his shoulders. Missing someone has a way of breaking down every wall he's built. See, when you've been in his life and you've made a real impact, your absence starts ringing louder than your presence ever did. He can go out with the boys, he can laugh, he can post like he's fine, but deep down, that emptiness is eating at it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something I know for sure. When a man truly misses you, his actions will tell you everything you need to know. I don't care how smooth his mouth is. I don't care how many sweet words he's capable of putting together. When he's missing you, for real, his moves are going to give him away every single time. See, a lot of men think they can control the game. They think they can hide behind pride, act tough, and pretend like nothing phases them. But the truth is, missing somebody has a way of showing up in everything you do, even when you try to keep it locked up. A man can say, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm not thinking about her, but let me tell you something. When he's really missing you, it's in the way he lingers on your social media page, scrolling back through pictures he's already seen 100 times. It's in that late night playlist he puts on where your favorite song just so happens to come up. It's in the way he starts showing up in places you both used to go, acting like he just happened to be there. That ain't no coincidence. That's his heart leading his feet. And see, a lot of women get caught up in the words. They think if he says, I miss you, it's real. But I'm telling you, words are easy. Anybody can say something because they know it's what you want to hear. What you have to pay attention to is how he moves. Because a man can fake a smile, he can fake confidence, but he cannot fake consistent action that pulls him towards you. When a man misses you, he starts breaking his own rules. The man who said he doesn't call first, now he's the one picking up the phone. The man who swore he'd never double text, suddenly he's checking if you got his last message. The man who claimed he didn't believe in posting his feelings online, now he's putting up songs, quotes, and pictures that you know are about you. That's not just emotion, that's proof. And it's funny because men will try to make it look casual. They'll tell themselves, I'm just checking in, it's no big deal, but you can hear it in his voice. You can see it in his timing. You can feel it in the way the conversation lingers just a little too long. Missing you turns into a habit for him, something he can't shake. He'll start thinking about things he never noticed before, like how your laugh would fill the room, how your perfume would hit before you even walked in, or how you tilt your head when you were really listening to him. Those little details get louder in his mind when you're not around. Here's what else happens. When a man misses you deeply, he starts making little sacrifices he didn't plan on making. Maybe he skips a night out with the boys because he's hoping you'll be free. Maybe he drives past your street even though it's out of the way. Maybe he starts paying attention to things that remind him of you. A commercial, a store, a random phrase somebody says, and then before he knows it, he's reaching out. Not because he planned to, but because the missing got too heavy to carry alone. And this is the thing I want you to remember. You don't have to chase him to make this happen. Missing somebody is not something you can force. If you've been good to him, if you've touched his life in a real way, if you've been that light in his dark, he's going to feel your absence all on his own. And when he feels it deep enough, the actions will follow. Because the thing about men is we're not as complicated as we pretend to be. Pride can make us quiet for a little while, but missing you, that'll make us speak in a language that doesn't need words. And when you see it, when you see him doing things that he swore he'd never do, going places he swore he'd never go, saying things he swore he'd never say, that's the loudest I miss you you'll ever hear. When there's distance between you and a man who's truly felt your presence, something happens in his mind that he can't turn off. That space you left behind becomes like a movie reel that keeps playing the same scenes over and over. He'll be sitting at work trying to focus, but a flash of you laughing will pop up in his mind. He'll be driving home, music playing in the background, and suddenly it's that one song you both used to sing along to that comes on, and now his chest feels heavy. Distance doesn't erase your presence. It magnifies it. It takes every little thing you used to do and turns it into a reminder. Men don't usually realize how much they've gotten used to you until you're not there. They think they can handle the space. They tell themselves they'll be fine, that life goes on. But the mind is tricky. It holds on to patterns, habits, and memories. And when you're part of someone's daily rhythm, your absence throws everything off balance. He'll wake up and reach for his phone to send you a message out of habit, only to remember he's not supposed to. He'll notice how quiet the evenings feel without your voice on the other end of the line. That silence starts speaking louder than anything you could ever say. What makes distance so powerful is that it strips away distractions. When you're around each other, he might take moments for granted. He might think there will always be another conversation, another laugh, another chance. But when distance comes in, it freezes those moments in time. His mind starts to loop them, holding on to the sound of your voice, the way you looked at him, the way you listen without judgment. And because he can't create new memories with you, the old ones start playing even louder. Sometimes he'll try to block it out. He'll fill his days with work, hobbies, friends, anything to avoid those flashbacks. But the truth is, the more he tries to avoid them, the more persistent they become. That's how missing someone works. It sneaks into the smallest cracks of your day. He might be standing in line for coffee and smell something that reminds him of you. He might hear someone use a phrase you always said. Even the most random, ordinary things can pull him back into moments with you, whether he wants them to or not. And here's the part men don't like to admit. Distance has a way of softening even the toughest guys. When you're far away, he's not just remembering what you did together. He's feeling what those moments meant to him. He starts to understand the comfort you brought into his life, the way you made him feel grounded, the way you understood him when he didn't even have the words to explain himself. Those realizations hit harder when there's no way to reach out and fix things instantly. The mind also has a habit of romanticizing when you're not around. He might start thinking about all the good times and forget the arguments, the disagreements, the little annoyances. He's not focusing on what frustrated him. He's focusing on what made him smile. And every time he replays those memories, the emotional connection grows stronger in his mind, even if you're miles apart. Distance forces him to think. It forces him to evaluate what life feels like without you in it every day. And when he's used to having you there, your energy, your encouragement, your way of making him feel seen, that absence starts to feel like a gap nothing else can fill. No matter how hard he tries to distract himself, No matter how many people he surrounds himself with, that replay in his head keeps reminding him of what's missing. At some point, that mental loop becomes a push. The memories stop being just thoughts. They turn into motivation. Motivation to call, to reach out, to find a way to close that distance. Because the more his mind replays your presence, the more he starts to realize he can't keep living with only memories. He needs the real thing. And when that realization hits, it doesn't matter how much pride he has or how long he's tried to hold back. That distance that once kept you apart becomes the very thing that drives him back toward you. A man's ego can be one of the strongest walls you'll ever see. It's built from pride, past experiences, and the belief that showing emotions is a weakness. He can miss you so much it aches, but instead of admitting it, he'll act like he's fine. He'll convince himself he's too strong to let you see how much he cares, too independent to let his guard down. That's what ego does. It keeps him from saying the words his heart has been screaming. But the thing about missing someone is it doesn't stay quiet forever. When the feeling gets strong enough, it starts to chip away at that wall, and little by little, the truth starts to slip out. At first, he'll fight it. He'll distract himself, pour his energy into work, hobbies, or anything that keeps him from thinking about you. He'll hang out with friends, make new plans, and try to prove to himself he's still in control. But the moments he's alone are the moments his ego starts to lose the fight. Because when the house is quiet, when there's no one to entertain him, that's when the memories show up. That's when he starts replaying the way you looked at him, the way you laughed at his jokes, the way you made him feel seen in a world that often overlooks him. His ego will try to remind him why he should stay silent. Maybe it's pride, maybe it's fear, maybe it's the thought that if he reaches out, it makes him look weak. But missing someone is not logical, it's emotional. And emotions don't care about rules. Over time, that ache in his chest starts to feel heavier than the weight of his pride. He'll start making small moves, testing the waters, trying to see if he can get close without fully admitting what's going on. Maybe it's liking one of your old posts. Maybe it's sending you something random, pretending it's no big deal. But those are cracks in the wall. The more he misses you, the more those cracks spread. He'll start bringing you up in conversations with mutual friends, not even realizing he's doing it. He'll find himself replaying moments in his mind, wondering what you're doing now, wondering if you think about him too. And that wondering, it starts turning into action. His pride still wants to stand tall, but missing you pulls him forward. It becomes a battle between what his ego wants and what his heart needs. Eventually, that need wins. He might still try to cover it with excuses. I was just thinking about that one thing you said, or I just wanted to check if you're okay. But those words are just a mask for the truth. The real truth is that missing you has forced him to lower the guard he worked so hard to keep up. It's made him risk rejection just for the chance to reconnect. And for a man with a big ego, that's not a small thing. That's him putting his feelings on the line. When a man reveals his emotions after hiding them for so long, it's because the missing has become stronger than the fear. He may not pour it all out at once, but you'll hear it in his voice. You'll notice it in the way he lingers in a conversation, the way he hesitates before saying goodbye. His words might still be careful, but his tone will tell you everything. Softer, warmer, more vulnerable. Those little changes are signs that his ego is stepping aside and his heart is finally speaking. It's important to understand that for many men, revealing feelings is not about weakness. It's about trust. Missing you breaks down the barriers because it reminds him of how safe he felt with you, how easy it was to be himself. That's what pushes him to take the risk, to put his pride aside and show a side of himself he doesn't let just anyone see. When that happens, you're not just hearing words, you're witnessing a shift. You're seeing the moment his ego loses and his feelings win. When emotions start building up inside a man, they can only stay contained for so long before they spill over. He might think he's in control, that he can keep everything bottled up. But the truth is, emotions have a way of showing themselves, whether you plan it or not. And when a man misses you deeply, it's like holding a glass that's already filled to the top. Every little thing becomes a drop that makes it overflow. That's when the mistakes and slip-ups happen, not because he's careless, but because the feelings are just too strong to hide. At first, he might do a good job pretending he's unaffected. He'll stay busy, keep up appearances, and avoid doing anything that could give him away. But as the days pass and the missing gets heavier, the cracks in his control start to show. Maybe he sees a picture of you somewhere and his reaction is instant. A quick smile, a pause, a moment of zoning out. He doesn't even realize it's noticeable, but that's the first sign of emotion starting to leak through. The more he tries to hold back, the more those feelings press against the surface. And then it happens. The late night text he didn't mean to send. The accidental, like on one of your old social media posts. The way he shows up somewhere you both used to go, claiming it was coincidence. These aren't calculated moves. These are the slip-ups that happen when the heart overrides the brain. He might tell himself it's harmless, but deep down he knows he's revealing more than he wanted to. Sometimes the mistakes aren't even in actions, they're in words. He might start a conversation acting casual, but then a certain topic comes up and suddenly his guard drops. He mentions a memory, says something personal, or lets a little emotion creep into his voice. Once it's out, he can't take it back. And that moment stays with him because it shows just how much control he's lost to his feelings. And here's the thing. Slip-ups aren't just random accidents. They're signs of truth. They're moments when his mind is still trying to play it cool, but his heart is done pretending. When emotions are overflowing, logic takes a back seat. The same man who swore he wouldn't reach out ends up calling without thinking. The same man who wanted to seem strong and unaffected ends up revealing exactly how much he's been thinking about you. It can be something as small as the way he looks at you when you cross paths. That quick glance that lasts just a little too long. The way his expression softens even when he's trying to act neutral. Or it could be something as obvious as sending you a message and then quickly deleting it, thinking you won't notice. But you do. Every one of those moments is a crack in the wall. Proof that the emotions are too big to keep inside. The truth is these slip-ups often speak louder than anything he could plan. Planned words can be rehearsed, but unplanned actions are raw. They come from instinct, from a place he can't control. And when a man misses you, his instincts push him toward you. He might try to disguise it, but the human heart doesn't follow cover stories. It follows longing, connection, and the need to feel close again. Over time, those little mistakes start to connect like pieces of a puzzle. One slip-up might not mean much on its own, but when you see the pattern, the repeated accidents, the unguarded moments, the small gestures he doesn't realize are obvious, you can tell what's really going on. You can see that he's caught in that space between wanting to keep his pride and needing to let you know you're still in his heart. And the